Boosie. I don't care about his fan base. I don't care about none of that. This on Tubi movie.
I want to speak on something. I ain't siding with Glorilla. I ain't siding with bro.
Victoria Woods went off on Boosie after he couldn't keep quiet about the Glorilla family drama. She called him washed, threw shots about him being a hypocrite, and the whole situation turned messy fast. Let's break down exactly how Boosie caught that verbal knockout.
People be thinking we have more money than we have. Every artist who got 50 million ain't got 50 million. Every artist you think got 100 million ain't got 100 million.
So here's how it all started. Boosie did what he always does. He talked. And to be fair, the man's been running his mouth since the early 2000s. But this time, he stepped into something that had nothing to do with him. Victoria Woods had been on edge for a minute, just waiting for someone to test her, and Boosie walked right into it.
People now say, if I give everybody, I'm gonna be broke. Man. Think if I got $1 million, I got 7 brothers and sisters.
Around February 9th, 2026, Boosie pulled up to the Breakfast Club for an interview, chopping it up about how artists deal with pressure when their families expect them to share the bag with everybody.
I give each y'all 100,000, I'm broke. If I really look out like you want me to look out, it's gone.
He made it clear from the jump that he wasn't picking sides, just keeping it real about how things go when money gets involved. He said people think rappers are swimming in cash, but the truth is way different. To make it hit home, he talked about his own situation, saying if he had $1 million and had to split it with 7 brothers and sisters, plus his mom and dad, that bag would vanish before he could even blink. And that's when everything started heating up, because Boosie wasn't having it, not one bit.
I'm not siding with blow or blow because that's a family situation. I don't know, I ain't getting no family business.
Boosie said it straight up. If he gave everyone in his circle 100 racks, that $1 million would disappear faster than smoke in the wind. He kept repeating that he wasn't trying to meddle in anybody's family drama, swearing he was just speaking facts and keeping things neutral. But Victoria, she didn't buy a word of that neutral talk. In her eyes, Boosie was basically backing Glorilla's choice not to drop any money to her people.
Raccoon eyes, talking about some, I'm not on nobody's side, but I'm just saying you are taking side.
She felt like he was sliding in excuses on Glorilla's behalf. And if there's one thing Victoria doesn't do, is stay quiet when she feels disrespected.
Basically, you saying she ain't got no money, she ain't trying to give us nothing. You justifying her. I don't give a.
She hit the internet like she'd been waiting for this showdown her whole life. She said loud and clear that Boosie was out here trying to justify Glorilla not breaking bread with her people. Then she hit him where it hurt, said she didn't care about his fan base, didn't care about his so-called career, none of that. Victoria dragged him for making Tubi movies now, saying he'd fallen off hard and needed to sit down before embarrassing himself even more. And she wasn't done. She went head-to-head with him on live, firing shots non-stop.
What y'all think about Boosie? I don't care about his fan base. I don't care about none of that. This on Tubi movie.
She brought up his history with the LGBTQ community and called him a full-blown hypocrite. Victoria said Boosie's always talking about guns, weed, and chaos in his songs, but turns around judging others for their choices like he's some saint. She didn't just come for his career, she made it personal, real personal, the kind of call-out that leaves a mark.
And I already don't like you anyway, because you know why? You don't like gays. You don't like gays. Nas X.
Victoria made it clear she never liked Boosie from the jump. She told him straight up to go sit down somewhere and keep pumping out them low-budget movies if that's all he got. But then came the line that sent the whole internet into a full-blown meltdown.
You talking about Nas X promoting gayness, but you promote guns, weed, and you a hypocrite.
She said, I thought we were cool. We diabetes, bro. That line took over every social feed. The diabetic bar had people crying, reposting, remixing. It was everywhere. And to his credit, Boosie didn't get too pressed about it. He hopped on X, laughed it off, and called her his diabetic twin. He even apologized, saying he wasn't trying to start any smoke. He was just talking about real-life stuff. Boosie said he got sibling drama of his own and wasn't aiming at anybody. He even joked about it, calling Victoria skin ball with a laugh before keeping it moving. But Victoria, she wasn't done cooking, not even close.
I never liked you.
She came right back with another clip and went straight at the Breakfast Club. She didn't spare nobody. She threw shots at Charlemagne, came for Boosie again, and warned everyone watching that if her name comes up, they better come ready. She said, if you mention me, you better have a comeback locked in, because I'm firing back.
He's straddling in the fence. He just wanted to be in the in crowd. Nigga, go make some Tubi movies.
And that's what the internet labeled the fight footage, the heated back and forth between Boosie and Glorilla's sister. No hands thrown, no in-person meetups, just straight talk. But Victoria was swinging heavy with her words. She was calling out everyone she felt was defending Glorilla, and it showed just how deep her frustration ran.
I thought we were cool, we died.
See, Victoria didn't just pop online wilding out for clout. She said that pain been building inside her for 4 years. 4 long years of watching Glorilla go from sleeping on a mattress surrounded by roaches to walking red carpets and getting Grammy nominations. That kind of shift hit deep, and now it's all spilling out in public.
And y'all got a big platform, so hell yeah, I got a problem with y'all. Why the y'all ain't got no breakfast up there? It's called a Breakfast Club.
Victoria said through everything they went through, the family never got lifted up. Nobody got put on, nobody got pulled out the struggle. They were still stuck right there in the same trenches they grew up in. When she finally sat down with DJ UTV for her first deep interview, she laid it all out, raw and real. She went all the way back to where it began, talking about life in Fraser, Memphis, growing up as one of 10 kids in a house where there was never enough to go around.
Which I don't have a problem with, but just be ready for me to respond. Don't sit here, Charlamagne, with your people head.
She said something that hit people in the gut. Getting McDonald's was like winning the lottery for us. That wasn't dinner, that was an event. They didn't eat fast food for convenience. They ate it like it was a once-in-a-lifetime celebration. Then she told a story that showed how tough things really were.
I mean, well, growing up, it was a struggle. I didn't start living life till I got to adulthood.
When she got placed in foster care, her foster mom told her to run to the store and grab some snacks. Just casual, no big deal. But for Victoria, that moment was confusing, emotional even. She said growing up, getting a bag of chips was a blessing. That's how scarce things were at home. She even said the food people got while locked up was better than what they ate at the crib. That's how rough it was. Their pops worked at the post office, but no matter how hard he grinded, the money never stretched far enough for 12 miles to feed.
Going to McDonald's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going to McDonald's to get a hot or spicy?
Yes.
Victoria shared how her dad had to keep borrowing cash from a neighbor named Mr. Raymond, but it came with a catch. Every 20 he borrowed, he had to pay back 40. He was getting taxed hard, basically borrowing from one person just to pay back another, barely keeping the lights on. But even with all that chaos, she said the siblings held each other down no matter what. They found ways to laugh even when things looked hopeless. They joked through the hunger, made fun of their situation just to forget how bad it was. She said, we used to laugh while our stomachs was touching our spines.
When I went to foster care and I seen like it was kind of like a normal, and I'm like, my foster mom would be like, go and get you some snacks. What?
That's the kind of pain that bonds people for life. That right there is the foundation of everything Victoria stands on, loyalty and survival. They struggled together, starved together, dreamed together. So in her mind, when one of them finally breaks through the mud, everybody's supposed to eat. That's the code they live by. And when Glorilla blew up back in 2022 with FNF, Let's Go, Victoria says she was proud that her sister made it out. But deep down, she hoped it would mean a way out for the whole family too. Victoria says she was truly happy when her little sister made it. She says she sent Glorilla a sweet congrats text, but it went green. That's when she realized Glorilla had changed her number and didn't give it to nobody.
Hell yeah. But if you ask me, the jail was even better than us.
Victoria says she hit up their mama asking for the new number, hoping to reconnect, but got shut down. Their mom told her she couldn't give it out without Glorilla's permission. That's when Victoria says she started to notice the shift, that fame was changing everybody around her. She even said once the money started rolling in, mama's head got gas too. From that point on, the whole family was locked out of Glorilla's world. She said Glorilla never called, never reached out, never said pull up to a show. The only time Victoria ever made it to one was when her mama snuck her in through the back. Imagine that, sneaking into your own sister's concert just to watch her perform.
So my daddy used to rob Peter to pay Paul.
When Victoria later spoke on TMZ, she dropped numbers, real ones. She said all she wanted was $2,500 per sibling. Not a mansion, not a Benz, not a new lifestyle, just a little something so everybody could breathe. She said if Glorilla had just done that, she would have had nothing to complain about. No rants, no lives, no drama, just peace. And Victoria made sure to remind everyone it wasn't just about her. She said, Glorilla got 9 other siblings out here, and she ain't doing nothing for none of them.
Because we used to make each other laugh while our stomachs rumbled.
That statement alone had people in the comments losing their minds. But then came the bombshell that shook the internet to its core. Victoria claimed their mama is still clocking in at FedEx every single day. She said all that talk online about Glorilla retiring her mom was straight up false. That one claim flipped everything upside down. The internet exploded.
So when I texted her and it went green, I'm like, okay, mama told her number.
Half the people were defending Glorilla, saying she ain't owe anyone anything. And the other half were backing Victoria, saying she's just speaking the truth. That's the moment this quiet family tension turned into a full-blown public war. When the smoke started rising, Glorilla's crew came swinging with receipts. But instead of matching Victoria's fiery energy, Glorilla played it cool, real surgical with it. She didn't hop on live, didn't throw insults, didn't go back and forth online. She let the proof speak for itself.
She can get all for like $2,500 a piece.
How much?
$2,500.
Glorilla hit Instagram with screenshots straight from her mom's messages, and those texts told a completely different story. In the messages, their mom was thanking Glorilla, calling her a blessing, and saying how much she appreciated everything she'd done for the family. That alone flipped the internet upside down. Those receipts directly clashed with everything Victoria had been saying across every interview and every live she jumped on.
She's not doing nothing. She's not doing nothing for family at all.
But Glorilla wasn't the only one to clap back. Her other siblings popped out of nowhere too. Her brother and sister hopped on live together, ready to set the record straight, and they weren't holding anything back. They were fired up. They said, since when is having a job something to clown somebody about? They called out Victoria for acting like they mama working at FedEx meant Glorilla wasn't doing anything, and they weren't having it.
She do little oohs and ahs for our parents or whatever, but barely nothing because my mama still clocking the clock at FedEx. No, she don't want to worry. Gloria got y'all believing this fake-ass, imaginary thing where she retired them.
Then they started laying out the real numbers. They said Glorilla gave their mom $500,000, bought her a whole house, and even bought their pops a new car. They said she looks out for the family regularly, dropping random bands here and there just to make sure everybody's good. The siblings painted Glorilla as someone who takes care of her people, especially the ones who stay out of drama. But then things got messy again, because they didn't stop there. They started dropping bombs on Victoria, calling her out for twisting the story, and hinting that she wasn't telling everything that happened behind the scenes. At that point, it wasn't just Glorilla versus Victoria anymore. It turned into a full-blown family feud, and the internet was watching every second of it unfold.
She was saying, I'm only up with Gloria. Gloria don't our mama because our mama got a job. Like, having a job is a bad thing.
The siblings came out swinging. They straight up called Victoria a pathological liar. They said she's got a long history of finessing people, setting up her own family, and bringing shady folks around who eventually ended up robbing their family home. They claim she burned every bridge she ever crossed and now wants to play the victim like none of that ever happened.
Then folks saying, Glorilla mama having a job is crazy. What's wrong with having a job?
Then things got even heavier when the 2015 situation resurfaced. And this time, court docs backed it up. According to reports, Victoria got hit with domestic assault charges after allegedly pulling a strap on Glorilla during a heated argument at a Memphis hotel. Glorilla was only 15 years old at the time, while Victoria was 19. That alone had the internet in shock.
You with the same person that wrote a 2-page brother bitch on you made you do 2 years in prison.
Police said they found the weapon hidden outside, exactly where the victim told them to look. Victoria caught charges behind it, and that's the moment everyone points to when explaining why Glorilla cut ties with a big sister. Because when your own sister pulls a gun on you as a kid, that kind of betrayal doesn't fade away. Trust, gone. Relationship, shattered.
So if you got 5 people saying it didn't happen and one person saying it happened, who you gonna believe?
5 people, yeah.
Exactly.
Later, in her interview with DJ UTV, Victoria denied the whole thing flat out, said it never happened. But Glorilla's other siblings weren't letting that slide. They stood firm, saying that situation was exactly why the family keeps their distance from her. They said it's not hate, it's self-protection. The siblings also claim Victoria ended up in foster care because of her own actions, not because of anything the rest of the family did. But Victoria told her side with a totally different span.
The topic. You supposed to be getting that build of bear looking at out of jail. Why are you worried about what the Tory you talking about? Now
She said her siblings lied to CPS, saying the abuse claims weren't true, and that's what got her sent back into a home she didn't even want to be in. She said they outnumbered her. Nobody stood up for her, and because of that, CPS closed the case and sent her right back. And just when people thought it couldn't get any deeper, Glorilla's brother stepped in. His take on what really happened had folks glued to their screens, waiting to hear every word.
oh, you gotta literally, you was a rapper. How the do you go from a rapper to a streamer? Some not adding up.
Glorilla's brother came through calm and collected, saying he hadn't talked to her in 4 years either. But the difference, he wasn't out here chasing clout or begging for a check. He said he introduced Glorilla to music from the heart and never expected anything back. He wasn't looking for handouts or attention. That's a whole different energy from the one Victoria was giving off online. Meanwhile, Glorilla was moving slick with her responses. She didn't need to hop on live or clap back directly. She let the memes do the talking. She started reposting quotes about entitlement and even shared job listings straight from Indeed.com.
I ain't even mad at you, bro. Just send me some cash, because I know you got to make your beans. And if I'm the topic to make you make your beans, go ahead.
That move said everything without her saying a word. Her camp made their stance clear. Glorilla looks out for the ones who stay solid. And in their eyes, Victoria hasn't been solid in a long time. But then things got even wilder. Everybody and their mama jumped in. Rappers, bloggers, influencers, random fans, it turned into a circus. Even finessed 2 times. Tory Lanez and half the internet started picking sides like it was some rap industry battle. What started as a private family issue between 2 sisters from Memphis became a full-blown viral spectacle overnight.
Then you got like Glorilla, someone said again, I'm only mad because you speaking on your family.
People who had nothing to do with the situation were suddenly giving opinions, going live and adding fuel to the fire. And finesse 2 times, he was one of the first big names to jump right into it. The Memphis rapper, who signed to Atlantic Records, reposted Victoria's TMZ clip on her Instagram story and wrote, "Somebody tell Glorilla's sister STFU."
At the end of the day, that's your family. Get off your and go make some for yourself.
That post blew up instantly. Then he dropped a video going in on Victoria, telling her to get up off her behind and go grind. He said every city in America got a truck stop. If you want money, go stack it. His comments had people arguing non-stop. Some agreed with him, others said he was out of line. But one thing's for sure, this Memphis family drama had officially gone global. Finesse 2 times didn't hold back. He said Victoria needed to stop comparing her whole life to what somebody else has. But Victoria, oh, she wasn't about to let that slide, not for a second. She jumped right back on live and started tearing into him like it was a diss track battle gone digital.
So, you know, my phone kept on ringing. So, you know, I'm on like a GPS monitor, right?
She questioned his whole career path, saying, how you go from being a rapper to a streamer and still expect people to take you serious? That line alone had the internet buzzing, but she didn't stop there. Victoria went for everything. She came at his pockets, his looks, even mentioned his locked-up girl, and then brought up his kid. It was wild. She was coming for everybody connected to him. The way she was talking, it sounded like she was in full roast mode. No filter, no chill. She told him straight up that if he was going to use her name to rack up views, then he needed to cut her a check, because she was eating off the attention too.
You think what had to happen, and not just on her side, but both sides, because you done some damage back now. You know what I'm saying? What do you think would need to take place for you and your sister to be able to hug again?
That's a question I can't even answer.
And she said it laughing, like the drama was just another day at the office for her. Victoria was clearly enjoying the chaos. She said the attention was helping her get booked for events, so everybody better keep her name in their mouths. She was feeding off the spotlight and flipping it into promo. But Finesse 2 times wasn't laughing back. He fired up his own live and turned the heat up. He said his real issue with Victoria wasn't even about Glorilla. It was about principle.
I went against my sister on TMZ. It ain't no coming back from it. And I'm prepared to not
You
come
done did
back.
worse though.
He said, "You don't take family business to the internet. That's something I can't respect from nobody." And that line hit hard, leaving the internet split all over again. Half cheering for Victoria's fire and the other half saying she took it way too far. Finesse 2 times told Victoria she needed to get up, grind, and build something for herself. Stop basing her whole life on what somebody else has. He made it clear he wasn't even caping for Glorilla like that. He was talking from experience. He said the world did the same thing to him. People aired him out publicly, dragged his name through the mud, and left him out there to dry. That's why he keeps his distance now. Too many folks fake love you in private and shame you in public.
I wish that we could have sat down and actually talked and have to come this instead of her lying about the numbers.
He was speaking from a place of pain, talking about what happens when trust gets broken one too many times. Then other rappers jumped in like it was open mic night. Freddie Gibbs hopped on X, posting, "Man, I love Memphis," with a string of crying laughing emojis, basically treating the whole family feud like a comedy special. The Game even backed up Finesse 2 times, saying nobody owes their family anything just because they share blood. The conversation spread like wildfire. Timelines were filled with debates about loyalty, fame, and family responsibility. But just when everyone thought the drama had peaked, a plot twist dropped that nobody saw coming. Tory Lanez, who's currently locked up for shooting Megan Thee Stallion, actually sent Victoria the $2,500 she had been demanding from Glorilla all along. Victoria wasted no time. She posted the Apple Pay receipt on her page and thanked him publicly. The irony of that moment had the internet spinning. After weeks of Victoria dragging Glorilla for not sending that small amount, the person who finally did was a man sitting in a prison cell.
Ready? Half yeah, half no.
That's deep. Damn, that's deep.
The same man connected to an incident that hurt one of Glorilla's closest collaborators. Social media lit up instantly. People were posting memes, think pieces, and calling it one of the wildest turns of 2026. But the mess didn't stop there. Someone dug up an old video of Victoria getting jumped after what was described as an alleged robbery attempt. And the internet went crazy. It was the same kind of footage she had once leaked of Glorilla to try and embarrass her. But now the shoe was on the other foot. People flooded the comments calling her out for the hypocrisy, saying she couldn't laugh at Glorilla's pain and then play victim when her own clips got exposed. And as if all that wasn't enough chaos, Victoria claimed Glorilla's camp started hitting back hard. She said her Facebook page got reported and taken down completely, wiping out all her posts, her followers, and the income she was making from it. To her, that was proof the retaliation was real. The internet was eating it up. Every twist, every receipt, every shady post. The Glorilla family drama had officially crossed from gossip to full-blown digital warfare.
Blood is not thicker than water, let me put it like that. Blood is not thicker than water.
I mean, yeah, family will be the ones that'll do it to you.
Victoria said things had gotten so messy that even the people monitoring her Jeep's ankle monitor were getting random calls about her. She claimed she was starting to worry that somebody was trying to set her up for legal trouble. That's how deep the chaos had gone. What started as one sister venting her frustrations had exploded into a full-blown internet war. Rappers, bloggers, fans, trolls, everybody was tossing fuel on the fire, making the situation bigger and uglier by the day. The family beef wasn't just between blood anymore. It belonged to the timeline. It became public property for the whole world to dissect, debate, and drag. After all the lives, the interviews, the screenshots, the receipts, the diss tracks, and even the unexpected $2,500 plot twist from Tory Lanez, one question started echoing across every platform. Can Victoria and Glorilla ever make peace again? During her sit-down with DJ UTV, Victoria got hit with that exact question. What would it take for you and Glorilla to look each other in the eye and be family again? Her reaction said it all. She couldn't even find the words. After a long pause, she finally said it was too far gone. Victoria admitted she took things to TMZ, and once you cross that line, once you air out family business on a global stage, there's no reset button to hit. She said point blank that the damage was permanent. In another interview, she doubled down even harder, saying they might as well stop calling themselves siblings because there's no way back from this kind of fallout. That's a heavy statement, saying your own blood is a stranger now. But at least Victoria was being real about it. She acknowledged that the bridge wasn't just burned, it was demolished. and she's the one who lit the match. Still, for a brief moment, something cracked through her tough shell, a flicker of emotion that showed the pain beneath all the anger. Even after all the chaos, all the back and forth, all the public humiliation, you could tell a part of her still wished things had gone differently. In that moment of honesty, Victoria's voice shook just a little, the first real crack in her armor since this whole storm started. She said no matter how far things had gone, a small part of her still missed the days before the fame, before the interviews, before all the noise. She said, "We used to laugh over nothing, just sitting on the porch talking about dreams we didn't even know could come true." That line hit people hard. For a second, the internet stopped laughing and started listening. But peace didn't last long because the internet doesn't sleep. A few days later, screenshots started circulating again. This time, they were allegedly DMs between Victoria and a few gossip bloggers, showing her talking about dropping more receipts if Glorilla didn't apologize publicly. The internet lit up all over again. People started debating whether she was being real about wanting peace or just playing the sympathy card for more clout. Meanwhile, Glorilla stayed silent. Not a post, not a live, not even a subtweet. Her team was moving like a vault. No leaks, no comments. Fans noticed and started calling her the silent assassin, saying she was letting Victoria burn herself out while she focused on her career. And truth be told, it was working. Glorilla had just announced her next project, and every headline about the drama was accidentally promoting her name even more. Still, folks couldn't help wondering what was happening behind the scenes. Was Glorilla ever gonna reach out? Was their mama trying to fix things quietly? Or had the family already accepted that this was the end of it? Victoria, on the other hand, kept posting cryptic captions like, "Real pain don't trend forever," and "Sometimes silence hurt worse than a diss." Every post felt like a message aimed at Glorilla, even if she never said the name. Then one night, she went live again. Not angry this time, just tired. She said, "People think I want fame from this. I don't. I just want my truth to be heard." You could tell she was drained. All that fire had turned into exhaustion.
That's your family, you her sister, she my sister. Is y'all telling that to her?
That live went viral too, but for a different reason. For once, the comments weren't full of clown emojis or jokes. They were full of people saying they could feel her pain, that maybe she didn't want war anymore. Some even started a hashtag, #LetThem_Talk, saying both sisters needed to heal privately before this story destroyed them both. Now the internet's divided again. Some say Victoria's finally showing growth. Others swear she's just spinning a narrative for attention. But either way, the world's watching close, waiting to see what happens next. Will Glorilla stay silent forever? Or will one message, one phone call, finally break the ice between two sisters who once shared everything, but now can't even share peace? A week later, just when people thought the chaos had finally cooled off, the story flipped again. And this time, it wasn't from Victoria or Glorilla. Out of nowhere, an old childhood friend of the sisters dropped a 20-minute tell-all video, claiming to have the real truth about what went down in that family. The internet exploded overnight. Clips, quotes, and theories started flooding every platform. In the video, the friend said both sisters had their share of blame, that the family tension didn't start with fame. It started way back when they were struggling just to survive. Money just made the cracks visible, she said, and that line alone had people reposting it everywhere. She claimed Glorilla did try to reach out early on, but got pushed away when Victoria started going live and spilling private details that weren't meant for the internet. But she didn't leave Victoria hanging either. She said Glorilla had changed too, that fame built a wall around her. When you start living in rooms full of strangers who praise you more than your blood ever did, you forget what real love sounds like, she said. The video struck a nerve. For the first time, people started seeing both sides instead of picking one to drag. Within hours, the clip had millions of views, and everyone was waiting for one of the sisters to respond. Victoria hopped on a story first, saying, "At least somebody telling a little bit of the truth." She didn't confirm or deny anything. She just left that cryptic message sitting there with a broken heart emoji. Meanwhile, Glorilla stayed on brand, silent but intentional. She posted one picture on Instagram, her sitting in a studio, headphones on, eyes closed, with the caption, "Truth always come with a beat." That post alone got over 2 million likes. Fans went wild guessing what it meant. Was she dropping a diss track, a confession, a reconciliation song? Nobody knew, but one thing was certain, something big was coming. Then a new rumor started floating. Allegedly, Glorilla's team had been in quiet talks to get Victoria on a private phone call, away from cameras, away from social media, just to clear the air once and for all. Nothing was confirmed, but insiders said the label wanted the sisters to make peace before the situation hurt Glorilla's image even more. As all this unfolded, the internet was buzzing like it was watching a movie in real time. The same people who had laughed at Victoria's pain were now saying maybe she deserved a second chance, that maybe both women were victims of a system that turns family love into content for clicks. Now the timeline's holding its breath, wondering, is this the calm before another storm or the first step towards peace? Because if Glorilla is recording again and Victoria is finally talking about healing, this story might not end with a fight, it might end with a beat. Victoria said she wished it didn't have to go down like this. All the chaos, all the cameras, all the noise. She said she wished they could have just sat down, face to face, and talked it out without the blogs, without the interviews, and without the world watching like it was a boxing match.
Like I said, it was all planned. I just wanted all planned. It was like, it just came about, and destiny and fate are two different things.
When she was asked if she regretted taking the situation public, she gave an answer that hit deep. Maybe the most honest thing she said through this entire mess. She said, it's half regret, half not. Half of her wishes she had kept it private, but the other half feels like this was the only way she could finally be heard. The DJU-TV interviewer tried to give her something real to hold on to before wrapping up. He told her, give Glorilla some grace. He reminded her that 4 years might feel like forever when you're hurt, but healing doesn't move on a schedule. Some people take years, even decades, before they finally show up for their family again. He also pointed out that Glorilla hasn't forgotten where she came from. He said every interview she does, she talks about the struggle, about those nights of hunger, about the love they had even when they had nothing. Those memories are still in her, whether she's showing it or not. The question he left hanging was heavy. Is Glorilla's distance neglect or protection? Victoria didn't flinch. She stood firm and said, blood is not thicker than water, not when it's been poisoned. She said family doesn't get a free pass to hurt you just because you share the same last name. She said the same people telling her to let it go never told Glorilla to reach out. That hit hard, because it's true. The internet spent a week tearing Victoria apart for airing it out, but how many people slid into Glorilla's comments saying, call your sister? The accountability seemed one-sided, and Victoria noticed that. As of now, there's been no sign of reconciliation. Glorilla's been keeping her head down, locked in on her music and her brand. Boosie moved on after his apology and went right back to doing what he always does. Finesse 2 times said his piece and dipped. Tory Lanez still locked up. And the internet already chasing the next headline, the next feud, the next viral story. But for the Woods family, this wasn't content. This was real life. These were real siblings who grew up sharing air mattresses and McDonald's nights that felt like Christmas morning. One made it out the mud and hit millionaire status. The others are still trying to figure life out. Whether Victoria was right or wrong in how she handled things, one thing can't be denied. The pain beneath all the shouting, all the posts, and all the viral clips was real. The struggle was real. The distance is real. And the damage that's been done might never fully heal. Victoria said it best at the very end of her DJU-TV interview. None of this was planned. There's no blueprint for how to handle something like this. Destiny and fate are two different things. And right now, our fate looks nothing like the dreams we had as kids, laughing through the hunger together. If you've been following this story from start to finish, don't just scroll past. Like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. Do you think these sisters can ever find peace again? Or is this one bond that fame broke for good?